Welcome to the weekly market wrap-up. I'm Hannah Bernard. While markets were flat this week as investors turned away from geopolitical tensions and Fed speculation to take a much-needed break, market volume was down and U.S. economic data ignored as investors sought out a much-needed distraction. Could March Madness be having an impact? You tell us. Send us a tweet at ViralNetNews. Let's get to it. U.S. stocks continued their March swoon Thursday, and the banks were amongst the biggest losers. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dipped 4.76 points to close at 16,264. The S&P 500 index slid 3.5 points to close at 1,849, and the NASDAQ fell 22.35 points to close at 4,151. Turning now to Canadian markets, the Toronto stock market finished just south of break-even Thursday despite better-than-expected figures on gross domestic product and jobless claims in the United States. The TSX Composite Index lost 5.26 points to acknowledge the closing bell at 14,178, and the Toronto Venture Exchange tumbled 17.90 points to close at 985. It was a sour start this week for the Candy Crush video game parent company King Digital, as the company's IPO failed to hold court in its NYSE debut. King Digital opened and stayed below its initial offering price of $22.50. The failure could be credited to investors comparing the IPO to Zynga, who birthed the popular Farmville saga and saw market valuation fall from $7 to $4 billion. Now, although some speculators say that King Digital is different from Zynga, it will be interesting to see if the candy continues to be crushed in coming weeks. Facebook was in the news as Mark Zuckerberg made yet another billion-dollar purchase by snapping up Oculus Innovations for a reported $2 billion. Oculus is a leader in virtual reality technology, and Facebook is betting VR could be the next social platform. The acquisition comes about a month after Facebook bought messaging app WhatsApp for $19 billion, and investors are worried that the CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, is spending too much money. Now to winners and losers and our picks for the week. The winner for this week is Western Potash Corporation, ticker symbol WPX. Western Potash shares jumped 19.95% on Thursday as investors position themselves ahead of a potential takeover bid or the signing of a joint venture partnership with a leader in the mining industry. Also weighing in Western Potash's favor is the fact that its world-class Milestone project in Saskatchewan is now boasting a projected annual production of up to 2.8 million tons of potash. The loser for this week is Digital Ally Incorporated, ticker symbol DGLY. Digital Ally shares plunged over 20% on Thursday after the company released its operating and earnings results for the year end of 2013. The company delivered a net loss, which they blame on weak government contracts partially impacted by the U.S. federal government shutdown. The company develops, manufactures, and markets advanced video surveillance products for law enforcement, homeland security, and commercial applications. Well, those are our winners and losers for this week, and now it's time to check in on the gains you could have locked in by following the weekly watch list from Robert James and Viral Stocks. All right, that's enough about this week. Now let's turn to BayStreet.ca's look at the week ahead and the snapshot of what analysts are forecasting for companies whose earnings reports are coming out next week. Here are 3 U.S. stocks to watch. Starting off on Wednesday, we have Monsanto Co. with an EPS estimate of $3.10 compared to $2.73 in the prior year quarter. Also on Wednesday is Acuity Brands Incorporated with an EPS estimate of 83 cents compared to 62 cents in the prior year quarter. In February, the Atlanta-based company introduced the EcoDrive family of LED drivers from Eldo LED and its launch into the OEM market. Finally, on Thursday, Micron Technology Incorporated is out with an EPS estimate of 60 cents compared to a loss of 24 cents in the prior year quarter. Now checking in on Canadian stocks to watch next week. Starting off the week on Monday, we have Vancouver-based Elderon Iron Ore Corp with an EPS forecast loss of 2 cents compared to a loss of 10 cents in the prior year quarter. On Wednesday, Dominion Diamond Corporation's out with an EPS estimate of 19 cents compared to 18 cents in the prior year quarter. Finally, on Friday, the Hudson's Bay Company is out with an EPS forecast of 54 cents, down substantially from 86 cents in the prior year quarter. In February, the retail giant completed the sale of its Queen Street flagship store and Simpson Tower office complex in Toronto to the Cadillac Fairview for $650 million. And that wraps it up. Thanks again so much for joining us for another weekly market wrap-up. Before you head out, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on Facebook and tweet us on Twitter. For Viral Network News and BayStreet.ca, I'm Hannah Bernard.